Hi, folks. I'm Kevin Smith, one of the pastors here at Hope Lutheran Church. Glad to be with you again today. One of my favorite stories from the Bible is the story of Zacchaeus. And this verse in particular, I'd like to focus on right now from Luke chapter 19, verse 5. Jesus looked up at Zacchaeus and called him by name. Zacchaeus, he said. Think about this. All of Zacchaeus' life, he had been ridiculed and rejected. First for his appearance, because he was so short. He was a small man. And then for his sinful life. He was a tax collector. But Jesus not only looked at him by calling him Zacchaeus by name, Jesus showed that he knew him, which means you matter. God knows you. Imagine the shock Zacchaeus must have felt. How did Jesus know his name? God not only knows where you are, he knows who you are. He knows what you're going through, why you're going through it, and how you feel about it, how frustrated you might be. He knows you better than you know yourself. He cares about you personally. The name Zacchaeus means pure one, pure one. Now that's the last thing you would think of when you would think about a corrupt tax official from the government. Zacchaeus was anything but pure. And yet Jesus, calling him Zacchaeus by name, was saying, hey, pure one. Hey, pure one, I want to come to your house for lunch today. Come on down out of that tree. Jesus was affirming what he saw in Zacchaeus, not what he was. And sometimes we may be afraid to get too close to God because we think, well, he's going to scold us. He'll get mad at us for the things that maybe I've done wrong. But Jesus always wants to affirm you. He wants to let you know how much he loves you. The prophet Isaiah writes, can a mother forget her nursing child? Can she feel no love for a child she has borne? Even if that were possible, I would never forget you. See, I engraved your name on the palms of my hands. The prophet Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 15. When Jesus died on the cross, he stretched out his arms, and the soldiers put nails through his hands. And your name was engraved there. When you get to heaven, there will be no scars in heaven, none whatsoever, except on Jesus. He's going to have those scars for all eternity to remind us how much he loves us. And those scars will say to us, do you think that I could forget you? Not a chance. This is how much you matter to me. When I was a kid in Vacation Bible School, I remember this wonderful lesson my teacher taught one year. She was teaching us the meaning of the word justification. That was a big word for a little kid. And she explained to our class that justification meant just as if I had never sinned. Just as if I had never sinned. Years have gone by since that simple Bible lesson. And I've read all kinds of books, studied the Bible in Hebrew and Greek, and explored the meaning of that word in discussions with all kinds of friends and other pastors. But after all is said and done, I must admit that I've never heard anything as improved on that Bible teacher's simple statement. Justification, just as if I had never sinned. If Jesus is the most important person in your life, you are justified. And that means standing before God, just as if you had never sinned. Think of what Zacchaeus felt that day after that lunch meeting with Jesus. And that's incredible good news that I hope each and every one of us can grasp anew each and every day of our lives. That is so powerful. You matter to God. God knows you. And no matter what anybody else ever thinks of me, God knows my heart. And that's all that matters. Think how beautiful and happy Zacchaeus was after that lunch encounter with Jesus. He was indeed a pure one who sought to live mightily for God that day and the days after. Thanks. God bless. And remember, you matter. God knows you. And most of all, remember that God loves you, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it. See you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.